So here's a response to what Bernie Sanders is saying about unionizing. I think that if the billionaire class are our enemy, the basic problem that we have is described through the kind of clunky rhetoric that's present there, which kind of says that the worker pool contains like prototypes of the billionaire CEO. So like the person or like the working group that represents Jeff Bezos is present somewhere, and so that entity is actually who Jeff Bezos is, and instigates versus the actual person named Jeff Bezos, um, or Elon Musk. And so you have a constant battle of realities between the person and certain elements of the corporation, where you're contending to deny each other's psychological and psychiatric realities. It's definitely a house divided against itself. I think your issue is that also, this is another part of the clunkiness. People who are great performers, in the corporation, who are not themselves looking to be the CEO or the founder, I guess really is how you make that much money, of the corporation, are going to have a lot of friction with their coworkers who are trying to organize into the union. So you kind of have like the situation where this billionaire CEO is up here, and then you're in their Shark Tank, kind of, biting at each other like dogs. And the successful ones who are the prototypical billionaire class, are getting bit at the most, and then they're turning against their coworkers and peers to not have, or to have in a different way, the unionizing behaviors, which really has nothing to do with getting a promotion or someone who's going to step in and become the secretary, or the second or third in command to the CEO there. If you're doing all this organizing behavior, it's probably not going to be true in the case of the Amazon sorters. Learned a little bit about that. I don't know. If you're talking about like Starbucks, you could get a lot of a lot of flack from customers who are like, well, how does this coffee or this latte work? Is this like one of those time bomb devices where Uncle Larry comes in and bothers me about his upset stomach a half hour after I drank the latte? There's not an easy way to say that. Is it powered by Bernie Sanders, or is it powered by Jeff Bezos, or is it powered by Hillary Clinton's laundry list of 90s to-do items? It's not clear, and you're not told when you buy the latte. You're not told when you buy the French fries or laundry baskets at Walmart. Those are kind of branding questions or company culture questions that aren't getting framed, or aren't being taken up within the corporation. I don't know that the organizing union thing is going to fill in those gaps for the customers, because what their issue is just like when you have your day off, or for that matter when you're working, the smoothness and the, I guess, feeling wholesome about your day, feeling wholesome about your interactions, being able to say, these workers did well today, this person stood out for XYZ reasons, and if you can't see where, where these different like HR, kind of slides go, or if that sounds scary, um, you may not feel safe in your job, or you may not feel safe in your position. You may feel like the mutiny is at hand all the time, and that's your normal. There's a lot of things you could have going on. The CEO being, a head on the block for somebody who's looking to get married. That I don't know when that started. It kind of informs this billionaire-esque supporting group that the Jeff Bezos Amazon purchase, or the Bill Gates Microsoft Windows product, or the Elon Musk Tesla car that is electric. None of those products are real, and they all are, are all subsidized by Bernie Sanders, or subsidized by, I'm just trying to make a rosy picture, that are subsidized by NFTs that person is going to purchase and use and consume. It's not a banana republic. So, I mean, if you think about it, is that an example? What I'm saying, is that an example of tough love or tough talk? Is it conservative? It's conservative to say, the CEO needs to do usually his job. It's not necessarily conservative. The CEO may not be conservative in values or orientation. I mean, if it's a Silicon Valley CEO, that person is going to have a really liberal. In my personal view, if you are a corporate CEO, but you're advocating for government-funded healthcare, you have to do some soul searching about why your corporation doesn't provide the benefits that you're referring them to the government to do. There's a different situation when you have the A-list like Tom Cruise and Bruce Willis. I'm not saying they were the forever stars, but they were, in my early lifetime, they were cornerstones. They were the A-list of Hollywood. The slide from Hollywood to the mountains of Appalachia, in terms of where your roots are, is really tenuous when you don't have, the same entrenched interests in that part of the country as you used to, because tough love becomes Machiavelli, and that's not scary. That's realism in Black Lives Matter as it happened. So these are pictures that are coming from where I live here in Findlay, Ohio, and you're welcome to take this perspective and use it yourself to take these national figures and see them through my eyes, or through the pictures that have, in a way, been given to me through the people that I've come in contact with, and say, okay, well, this is how this went in Ohio, or in Findlay, in the world that I come from. Not saying that all of your interactions are going to reflect mine. You're not me, so people are probably not going to treat you like they treat me. There's a number of reasons for that. We're all trying to fix some things, improve other things, hopefully not lose the farm in the process. And so it's a journey that we're on together. A lot of what we did in the last 10 years, I don't think this world wants to repeat. It can't afford to repeat. So from the American perspective, we really do have definitions in terms of the West's first world, and corporations in a society that's a capitalistically based business corporation, business, society in a number of ways, because that's how, if you're not going to a small business for a lot of your things, you're obviously going to these corporations that have stocks or are privately owned in a large stake, and there are people who sit on boards, and they're responsible for all these local access points for the corporations, and we're blessed to have cheap products that come to our shores. We're going to have debt financing for $20 trillion. If we, it's going to have to be financed in some way if we loan from ourselves too. So there's benefits that we do get as a beneficent of the developing world, but we're also very helpful to the developing world when we are able to be good caretakers of the things that we have, things that we already have, because the consultants are not going to come over and teach us how to make a McDonald's hamburger. We're going to have to do that with our own hands, our own workers, and our own ingredients and everything there in the hamburger. And that's value in one sense. It's just really hard to picture how some of these people have, do have, and they really do have billion-dollar checks coming in, and the performance doesn't seem to be there. But it's, in my view, not meaning that I want to give up on the personalities or the roles or this all that stuff. I want to see those roles be successful and have fruition there, so that the people who are in the local situations, that you see every day, you don't see Jeff Bezos every day, have lives and livelihoods that make me think of where I've come from and the people that I know. When I do get to encounter people in life, that's what makes your life meaningful, and makes you feel like you're on a planet that's intended for human life. So the videos I've posted have not gotten a lot of views. I think they've gotten, in some cases, 2 or 3 views. But anyway, there's what I was thinking about today for the audience that was really interested in seeing what it was.